All in favor, say aye. Chairman?
Okay, welcome to the February 16th monthly meeting of the New York State Bridge Authority. I'm joined at the table by Commissioner Rod Dressel, Commissioner Vane Lashua, Commissioner Roger Higgins, Deputy Executive Director Tara Sullivan, Commissioner or Vice Chair Richard Gerantine, our Counsel Gif Whitbeck, and our Executive Director Joe Rosario. Commissioner Ramalia is not here today. My name is Francis Vasilio. I'm the chair.
I hope Joe's not listening to this, Joe.
Somehow I don't think he is.
The first item on the agenda is just to adopt the minutes of last month's, or the January 19th meeting. If there's a motion for that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have an agenda here, but I was notified we have a local resident who wanted to address the board for a couple of minutes here, and he actually brought a handout, so I'll pass this around and you guys can take a look at it. If you gotta take just a couple of minutes, we don't normally have public comments, but you're free to address us if you'd like.
Just a few minutes. Thank you, board members, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you allowing me to address the board. The reason why I came here today is this is a continuation of what I brought to the attention of the board at the public hearing in Poughkeepsie, which was held in Poughkeepsie at the Grand Hyatt, concerning the latest fare increase. And again, I don't have an objection to the fare increase per se. However, if we go on the sheet, I do have a couple of issues concerning particulars on that fare increase. The first one is with dual wheel pickups. There's one out front which I have, that's my primary means of transportation. Two wheels in the front, four in the back, for those of you who are not familiar with that type of vehicle. The Bridge Authority classifies that as a commercial vehicle. And they charge me the same rates as you would charge large commercial vehicles, box trucks, single axle drive tractors that haul 18 wheels with just, the 18 wheelers, but just they have one set of wheels on a tractor rather than two. That's not fair. It's not equal, because there's more of these trucks being used in private and non-commercial use than there are in commercial use. The society has changed. I mean, if you said 15 years ago or 10 years ago, 1990, when your last prior fare increase was implemented, I'd agree with you that that's the way it was. But now people use these trucks far more for personal use than commercial use. And that's the issue I have. I also gave you an action, what I thought was one option to correct the inequity, as I see it, and that is simply to classify dually pickup trucks as Class 1 vehicles. The rate goes down, you still get a fare increase out of it. The rate for the personal, non-commercial user gets reduced, and you can still leave your box trucks and your single axle drive, large 18-wheeler type commercial tractors as Class 2 vehicles. So you're not throwing away all your fare increase, you're just reducing it for the non-commercial user on a 6-wheel pickup truck. Barring that, if that option doesn't fit into the grand plan, option 2 on problem 2 there is to reduce the fare increase, and you folks can do that. You can roll it back without a public hearing. You can roll it back, you can't increase it. But if you needed a public hearing, it's still worth it to have the public hearing. To reduce it to $4 instead of from $5 on that, and that would be that would reduce the fare hike from 100% down to 62.5%. The 62.5% would be consistent with your toll schedule, your fare increases, which averaged 50% on Class 1 cars, 100% on Class 2 vehicles, my pickup truck, and 66% on Class 3 through Class 6. So there again, the only, whoever implemented and devised the fares never bothered to figure out the percentages. I'd have to question your chief financial officer. He should have been on top of that, because I'm sure that he proposed a lot of the fare increase, because he's the money man. But if you can roll it back to from 5 to 4, then it's 62%. It's consistent with the rest of the fare increase. Item 3 is, again, the issue with the trailer on this truck. On one vehicle, it's one price. On another vehicle, it's another price. That's inconsistency. And inconsistency in a government agency is not good. The Bridge Authority has an obligation to be fair and consistent in its toll collection process. And to charge one thing on one day and another thing on another price on another day is not fair and consistent. That's my opinion. There's a few things that I'd like to ask the Bridge Authority for. One is a copy of your mission statement. And 2 is a breakdown of the tolls collected by class vehicles for 2011. That's a one-pager. That's a no-brainer.
Mission statement on our website, and I can.
Oh, it is on the website. Then I overlooked it. Then.
And I'll take your request afterwards specifically, so I get it.
Right. And I would like to also. I do want to thank the board for allowing me to address the board. However, I think that just as part of the process, that a public comment session should be an item right on the agenda. I granted it is on the website, but if somebody wants to come to a public meeting such as I and make a comment on some activity of the Bridge Authority, that the public should be welcome to do that, and certainly by reflecting that in the agenda, that could be accommodated.
Thank you, and for the record, your name is Mark Gisselbrecht.
All my personal information is up here in the top right-hand corner of the worksheet. I've spoken with several of your board members and at the meeting, and they were helpful and
Staff.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments.
Thank
All
you.
right, and hopefully we can. I'd like you to in closing, I'd just like you to go over what I said, and maybe we can make this a little bit more fair.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I
Bye-bye.
think the next item, we've done the minutes. The first item on our agenda will be Mr. Moreau, right? Taking care of our engineering for us.
Well, I guess I should say good afternoon. We've been here for a while. Yeah. First up, we've made some adjustments in the schedule of implementation of our capital plan that was approved last November. Changes to the plan just amount to accelerating some of these projects. For instance, the repainting and lead abatement work at the Newburgh Beacon Bridge North Span.
So we did the south span last year, right?
We did about 40% of the North Span in the last 2 years. And so we were going to take a break while we focused on the deck replacement of the south span. But they are two separate structures. A lot of the work on the deck replacement will be at night. So we took a good look at it, and in an effort to assist the governor with his jobs program, we thought, we could in fact accelerate this project and do them both this year. So the overall cost of the program hasn't changed. It's just been advanced where we could advance projects into this year.
There's nothing new, it's just a time.
Correct.
Is there a motion on the resolution? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next up is our in-house capital improvement projects. Excuse me, after we review the condition inspection reports from our independent consultant, Jeskin Masters, we look for things that we can do in-house. Even though there are legitimate capital improvements, we have some pretty talented people here. So Majeski and Masters then reviews the list and estimates the outsourced cost versus Craig's budget for performing it in-house. And we've come up with this giant package of paper here. The total cost is $1,650,000, and the Majeski and Masters estimated costs is somewhere in the back, about twice that amount.
So is it, aside from the cost, you thinking you have the manpower and the time to get all this done in this year? Or you have
We always
moving
bite off.
anything up? or-
We always bite off a little more than we can chew just to make sure we have enough to keep everybody going.
They're not plowing snow issues.
We haven't yet, right?
Might be soon.
Until today.
So in past years, we've come close, but it's not uncommon that we roll some projects forward into the next year.
Okay. Is there a motion on the in-house plan for
So
capital
moved.
projects?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. Next up is the first step on the Newburgh Beacon deck, Newburgh Beacon deck replacement assignment. We advertised the opportunity in the contract reporter. Got over 40 interested firms requesting our proposal package. 12 firms responded. And through a thorough analysis of their technical qualifications as well as their staffing and cost, we'd like to recommend them on Whitney from New York, and it cost $1,288,900.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Bill, just a comment on, that was based on your evaluation of the proposals and a rating score, and your recommendation would be to Armand and Whitney, correct?
Thanks. Next up is the another aspect of the program at Newburgh. We have some steel repair work that came out of the inspection this year that we'd like to have completed this year so we don't move towards a flag condition in the near future. This south span of the Newburgh Beacon Bridge is a Core 10 weathering steel bridge, which originally was thought wouldn't need paint. When it was 12 years old, so 1992, we recognized that this patina that was supposed to protect the steel, a tight layer of rust that theoretically seals out oxygen, wasn't tight enough. And we could measure the section loss on a number of important steel members, so we began painting the bridge in 92, and it's about 50% painted. All of the truss members are painted, all the exposed areas are painted. We were able to take advantage of not painting the steel beams underneath the deck. A, they get less weather, and B, they're well drained. They don't have any pockets like the truss members coming in on diagonals and cross bracings. They tend to catch a lot of debris in the gusset plate areas. So in this past year's inspection, the engineers went inside some of the truss members and found that we were having some troubles at the ends of the truss members that had weather, that were exposed to the weather. So we did some steel work this year, but we'd like to finish up the balance of that work, as well as design the steel repairs for the sidewalk, which will be included in the overall deck replacement project a bit later this year, we hope. Majeski Masters is the original designer of the bridge. They've inspected it for every year in its life. And on this accelerated schedule, we'd like to ask for your authorization to give them the design assignment to come up with bid documents that we'll put out to public bid for the actual construction repair.
Bill, is there any chance that the work could be done in-house, some of it?
The construction work?
No.
Or the design work?
The construction work, yeah, after we
Actually, this is probably going to involve sandblasting, and that's one thing that we try to avoid because it involves negative air and a Class 1 containment system. So that's the type of work we typically contract out for.
But the general repair, welding,
We don't have any certified welders on staff. That's another thing that we would bring in contractors for, so. So although it sounds very similar to the work we do, it's a little above our capacity.
There's a resolution for supplemental contract with Majeski and Masters. Is there
So moved.
a resolution? And a second? All in favor?
Thank you. Next up is our Phase 2 Port Security Grant, which we secured late last year. The intent of this grant was to enhance the camera system that we got under the first grant with an alarm system, because it's really hard to watch a TV screen that doesn't have anything moving or changing in it. And we didn't want to miss, anything that we needed to pay attention to. So our plan is to use the same design consultant that provided services to the Bridge Authority on Phase 1 grant. The alarm system will be based on a camera-driven virtual fence, so this will allow us to very easily integrate the signal feeds and the alarms with our existing command center camera system. The idea here was to just do one bridge and make sure that all this equipment works the way we intended. So although there's a lion's share of the design going on in the first prototype task for the Hudson Bridge, we'll be able to take advantage of a lot of this design work as we go through the rest of the system. But we're looking for $45,504 for TransDigm to design the prototype alarm system for Mid-Hudson, and we'll report back to you on the performance. The Port Authority also wrote to us in January and said they are not likely to extend the schedule for this grant, and they expect everything to be completed by August 1st, so it'll be a challenging timetable. But we think we can complete that. Total grant is about $1.2 million in grant reimbursement. So this assignment will get the first prototype installation going right away. I think we had a typo on the original resolution, so hopefully you've got a corrected resolution in the amount of $45,504 in front of you.
So is there a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Thank you.
514. 514.
Moving on, I guess. Our jobs in progress hasn't had a lot of progress this last month. All of our active jobs are completed or haven't begun yet for this season.
Move to accept the jobs in progress report.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Thank you.
Oh, your day is done.
Very good.
Financial, Mr. Bushek. Did I do it right?
Yes, you did.
I want to hear some applause. I said it 4 different ways the last time.
It's okay. It's all good.
He gets called a lot of things, don't worry about it.
As we heard before.
So we observed.
Yes.
See, we got some money invested. Last month, we didn't have any money.
Yes, we did. We had a very good month in the month of January, largely because year over year there was substantially less snow. Okay. In addition to that, we had done some projects at the end of Q4 2010 that rolled into 2011, so it kind of changed things substantially. Basically, the investment report, we were able to go and make 5 investments. In the month of January, you'll notice that the normal routine debt service has dropped as a result of our refinancing. Historically, it was about $681,000 a month. Now it's running in the neighborhood of $610,000. So we'll be seeing that every month from here on out until, of course, we do the new money. The maintenance reserve, we were fortunate enough to be able to put in $1.7 million this month. The insurance fund was a rollover, and that will relate to the insurance fund balance determination that we'll go through in my next item. And the revenue fund, we're just putting some money away for the end of the year when the retirement system bill comes in. Looking at the next page, the investment inventory, as I noted before, we now have started growing the maintenance reserve fund again, which is very nice. Note, in the insurance fund, I apologize, there's a typo on the $70,000 investment. It should read 2.625% as opposed to 1.375. All the other investments that occurred this month are noted. Yield, we're doing very well this month. Again, fairly consistent with prior months, nothing unusual to note.
Is there a motion on the financial investment report? Second? All in favor? Aye.
Okay, the next item up is an annual requirement under the bond resolution for the insurance fund balance determination. What we do is we take the replacement cost as provided by the consulting engineer in the attached letter for our most costly bridge. In this instance, it would be Newburgh Beacon South, and we multiply it by 3%, and that would be the end resulting balance that we need to keep in the fund. For 2012, it will be $9,422,640.
And what was the change from last year for that?
It was a couple $100,000. Actually, I believe the entire value went up 3%.
Okay. And that's just a reserve that we maintain.
That is
like
the
a down
deductible.
payment on the problem.
It's the deductible from our insurance policies, that if something were to happen, that would be what we would be obligated for.
Okay.
Supposedly it takes to repair or rebuild one bridge.
Yes, we insure for $380 million, which is approximately what it would take to rebuild one and a little bit of another bridge, under the assumption that because all the assets are spread so far apart, you would never see all the bridges hit at the same time. We would hope. Yes.
The South Span is so much more expensive because
It's 5 lanes. Right. Is that a fair statement, Bill?
it's bigger.
It's wider, it's bigger.
It's wider.
It's a little off the pace, but why is it that our most expensive span is only 300 million and the Tappan Zee's 16 billion?
Just when they talk about the most expensive, the word span sometimes gets used in more than one context. But what they're talking about is this part.
Oh, just one piece that might fall.
And I think we included the two adjacent.
Your most expensive span.
So that's just a piece of the bridge, the most expensive piece of the
Get over
bridge.
here, this would be cheaper than over here.
Okay.
So they took,
Well, most of them too, and that bridge is straight right there too.
The river's
Most
straight.
of the Newburgh Beacon Bridge is straight.
right.
You go under it on the train, you can see it. It's amazing.
So you couldn't rebuild the bridge for 300 million, but you could rebuild a span if you had.
What we consider to be the worst accident from, a collision or an airplane or something that would knock out a portion of it.
Because the part of the Kingston Rhinecliff Bridge, the part we have trouble with, is on the.
Yeah, it was on the curve, right.
Is there a motion on the
So
resolution?
moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the last item is the resolution of intent. As previously discussed, this is a resolution that allows us to go and reclaim any expenditures made from this point forward against the bond proceeds.
So moved.
And that would cover both the paint project or the new decks?
That's correct.
Is there a motion on that? Second? All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
IT,
Greg actually had to leave for a family event. You have from here Greg's port security monthly procurement report. For January, there were no expenses on the port security grant. And the next report is the jobs in progress for IT, which remains unchanged as
is there a motion on the jobs in progress report as we were provided?
Do
Let's,
you have one?
it is just one in the back.
There's one on the back of, there's two of them you got, one doesn't have one and the other does.
Oh, okay.
This is just the regular jobs in progress report. Is there a motion
So
on that?
moved.
Second? All in favor? Operations,
Afternoon.
Ferguson.
That's correct.
I just wanted
I
to.
got that one right?
The first item is our annual assessment from Transcom. They're a traffic data collection and reporting agency. We're a member, and our annual assessment this year is the same as last year, $64,573. That's budgeted in the operating budget at each bridge, and here's the bill. There's 13 dues-paying member agencies.
And we are the
And you see we're the
lowest
smallest.
one on the totem.
We are.
And that's based on traffic volume? Or?
Yes, volume.
Move to accept and pay the assessment.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next thing is we received a proposal from Traffic Technologies, TTI. They're our current vendor. We awarded them a contract to maintain the plaza and central computers here. So as part of Project Night Watch, we need to upgrade the plaza and central computers to receive reports and data from the Night Watch machine and soon to be several machines. They've provided us with a proposal of $155,000 to upgrade those machines. We had Dr. Mankiewicz review that, and he thinks it's fair, technical stuff. He suggested that we added another $15,000 for any features we might come across down the road that we might want to include. So I'm asking for a not-to-exceed amount of $170,000 for TTI to upgrade those computers.
Wayne, one thing, is it, it was confusing to me, it's all the bridges, plazas, right? Or
This would be initially for the one at Kingston,
Okay.
and they would upgrade plaza and central computers. There's one plaza computer at each bridge. The central computer is up here in operations. So yeah, this would entail just about everything as we move along to the other bridges.
What's the timetable for the night watch? When we would have that up and running?
Sometime in March, we had a
looking at March.
staff meeting today with the vendor. Ideally, we're targeting March 2nd, but there are some external issues to the project that may push it back, but we're hopefully by mid-March we'll actually have it live.
And how many of the bridges do you hope to have convert that to eventually?
3. Right now, Kingston's the first, and eventually the Rip Van Winkle and Mountain.
And theoretically, how much could that save us in a year?
We're hoping, right now we spend more than we collect in tolls, to the tune of about, $500,000 for all 3 bridges. So it's going to take some time to recoup the initial investment of this. And then the second phase, what we'll do with Night Watch is called EPA, which we'll discuss later on when we're getting ready to develop that, and that would be an additional savings. So.
Is there a motion on the resolution?
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
The executive director's report, he had no expenditures for us to take a look at. And then we have the family leave request. According to the memo, we had approved something similar last year, and actually Joe didn't end up using that much time, I don't believe, right? So,
This one,
and this one now is expanding, we've got 2 parents.
yeah, unfortunately, every year you have to renew it, and it's only good for the calendar year, so I have to renew the one for my mom, and then I have to deal with my father's situation, which will require me to be out for a little while.
So there's a resolution for us to grant some family leave time to Joe as needed. I move the resolution. Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
We also had the traffic classification report, and I was noticing the traffic volume was up for January. Is that better weather?
Yes.
Or is that the roaring economy? Or
It's
I just think people were excited to try the new toll.
they realized what a good deal they were getting, they drove more.
It's a well-kept secret barometer for the economy.
Actually, the toll kicked in at the end of January, right?
The last 2 days of the month.
So they did all their shopping across the river before the toll kicked in, okay. And I think that's all on our agenda. Does anyone have anything else? Vane?
I just went over to the command center this afternoon and saw just re-saw the command center. It's really worth a trip. But Dana gave me a picture of the toll machine.
The GPM, yeah.
And it's I think that's another thing that's worth looking at, is just how it's pretty innovative. I mean, it's going to, even cashless, if somebody doesn't have any money, it's, you you take a picture of the driver's license, so you don't have to send a state cop after somebody with a picture of the license plate. And I don't know, it's really great that it's progressed so far, and also that it's going to save us some money, a lot of money.
There's been some news stories recently that some of the other authorities with their version of no gate in the toll plaza and the open tolling, and some of the issues they're having with the non-payment of tolls, and having the gate in the lane still, I think, is going to be the major factor in our ability to collect a toll. And we've been discussing this up at the state level when we sit down with the other agencies, and they're all interested in this approach we're taking with this. So we'll see how it works. I think it'll be a good step.
John, did you have anything for us?
No, we're good, sir.
Good luck on your convalescence in Florida. Stay out of the sun, and good luck with your parents. Anybody got anything else? Otherwise, we'll see everybody, except Rod says he's skipping out in March. So if there's a motion, we'll adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second? This meeting's adjourned.